Toss a Coin to Your Witcher was everywhere. But what about the second or third seasons? Can you tell me any songs from the show? Did the music continue to live up to the fans' expectations? Now, let's shift focus from the controversy surrounding the story changes and delve into a crucial aspect of any show: the music. A part of my job is composing music for our podcast, most of them in a true crime genre. However, when watching any movie or show, I always have my ears perked up and listen to music. And shows like The Witcher, based on books I enjoyed in my youth, receive special attention. Not to mention the game Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which I love and listen to the soundtrack all the time. But yeah, in Season 1, Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, performed by Joey Batey as Jaskier, became a viral song. Not so long ago, I went to see London Concert Orchestra and they played the song and the main theme for The Witcher. So it's safe to say it earned its reputation. But let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack from Season 1 gets the most praise. It has millions of plays on YouTube and Spotify. It can be enjoyed as standalone music, not only as background to the show, and with the Jaskier's song success, this soundtrack is a fantasy epic. Unfortunately, some people comment that the soundtrack from Season 2 was a big step down, often pointing out that the tracks could be more memorable. Now, Season 2 has significantly fewer plays on YouTube or Spotify. As we're recording this video, Season 3 came out recently, but the numbers are also not picking up. There's little news about it and no enthusiastic reactions to currently released tracks. When we analyze the seasons, we can definitely spot some differences between the releases, but how big are they really? What sometimes happens in TV production is that the studio will pay a known composer to write the main titles, score the first season, and write several cues for the show. However, to save money on the further series, a new composer is brought in who then reuses the music from Season 1 and works from this existing soundscape, rewriting the music, developing it further, but staying within the same style. I'm not saying that this happened with The Witcher show, but they did change the composers. Season 1 features a soundtrack composed by the duo Sonia Belushova and Gianna Ostinelli, who have previously collaborated on scores for The Mist and the Romanovs. Sonia Belushova is a Russian composer and pianist. She released many videos where she talks in depth about the music in The Witcher. On the other hand, Gianna Ostinelli is a Swiss-Italian composer, and he also has an extensive list of credits. The composers stress heavily the medieval aspect being their inspiration for the music. To me and many other fans, it sounds medieval and has heavy Slavic influences. We learn that from the instruments that were used and the vocals, Sonia Belushova also mentions Celtic influences on the composition. They aim to create a musical folk setting. Critics and viewers of the show highly acclaim the Season 1 soundtrack. Now the change happened in Season 2. Joseph Trapanis, a well-known music producer who has worked on films such as Oblivion, Lady and the Tramp, and The Greatest Showman, is responsible for the score of the second season of The Witcher. He admits to reusing some of the themes to keep the consistency, which, that's what usually happens in later seasons. He also incorporated the use of medieval and contemporary instruments. And he mentions the Slavic aspect as well. Now, this is not the first collaboration between Netflix and Trapanis, as he also worked on music for the show Shadow and Bone, which I enjoyed. Now, Joseph Trapanis made his comeback for Season 3, but we also get the Polish band Percival Schattenbach, who are known for the fans of The Witcher for their many popular songs in the CD Projekt Red's video game Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. The band Percival collaborated with actor Joey Batey and Joseph Trapanis on a new song for Season 3 of the Netflix series. The song is called The Rite of the Witcher. Let's now talk about the instrumentation and if there was a change from Season 1. Now, Gianna Ostinelli said in one of his interviews that they collaborated with many different musicians to achieve their artistic vision. Some of the instruments featured prominently on the Witcher soundtrack are hurdy-gurdy, violin, oboe, duduk, lute, Renaissance mandolin, dulcimer, and a variety of percussion and drums from orchestral to ethnic. They wanted to score to sound medieval. not necessarily from a specific culture like, Slavic, but medieval folk music. Hurdy-gurdy is a very Slavic instrument, operated by a crank with a rosin wheel rubbing against strings. The vocals resemble the natural way of singing in Slavic folk music. We also had other instruments like, Celtic bodhran, harp, flutes, tambourines. Overall, from the instrumentation by the original composers used, we definitely get the medieval sound with Slavic elements in the TV show. Now in season 2, with a change in a composer, was there a change in the instrumentation? Joseph Trapanese said in an interview that they had a musician playing all sorts of different ethnic medieval instruments. In the video Crafting the Score on YouTube, he's seen conducting a standard orchestra, a modern orchestra. But it's safe to assume he continued what Gianna Ostinelli and Sonia Beluszowa started in season 1, right? In season 3, the Polish medieval folk band Percival features heavily in the soundtrack. So the show creators and the composer Joseph Trapanese wanted to keep that Slavic spirit. We can hear it when listening to the tracks. Let's now quickly discuss the themes in the TV show. So in season 1, Sonia Beluszowa commented on a diversity of styles. She said they wrote and produced folk tunes and dances and collaborated with artists in various genres. They focused on character themes, so a theme for Geralt, for Ciri and Yennefer. Then of course the central theme for the show. And all that work was done before they got the picture, and only after receiving the first cut they started structuring their themes to the scenes. In season 2, Joseph Trapanese said that he also wanted to focus on characters rather than locations and look behind what is happening on the screen. He wanted to score their personal journeys and intentions. Of course, he had to reuse the, already established themes from season 1. The Slavic elements are interesting because, according to the composer, the nature of the music is more aggressive and grittier, especially when we would compare it to a fantasy music from, let's say, Lord of the Rings, which has this more epic and softer style. Trapanese also said that Joey Beatty was more involved in writing songs for Jaskier, and they were co-composed, so the personality of Jaskier is reflected in the music. So that's a lot of angles and a lot of things we considered. So when we take all of that information and try to make sense of it all, it's difficult, it's hard. First of all, there is no explanation as to why Sonia and Gianna were not hired for the following seasons. They were very successful. Could be budget issues, timing issues. But it looks like Joseph Trapanese, the composer they passed the torch to, continued in their style, reusing the themes, focusing on the characters and the medieval style with Slavic elements. So why all these, bad reviews for season 2 and season 3? In the first season, we get plenty of interviews, videos with the composer Sonia Beluszowa, many articles, a huge amount of information in general, while season 2 and season 3 has significantly less material around. It's difficult to find good information and not as many fan reactions. So bad reviews and bad comments simply stand out. Then some fans say that the score could have been better, but on the other hand, it's a simply nice music in the background that is forgettable, so that may be the case. Or maybe the fans were put off from the very beginning after hearing the music used in the trailer for season 2, featuring a rap song. It was a risky choice. It's safe to say that it didn't pay off, and a lot of fans were upset about it. Or the simplest answer could be season 2 and season 3 are just not as good in general. And the music is getting some of that flack, the ricochet from the bullets. Because see, if a show, a movie or a game is successful, then all the elements of it get praised and everyone receives the awards. However, when the final product is mediocre, even though the elements of it are good, they rarely get a spotlight. And more than likely, theories and speculators, like, me in this video, are trying to make a sense of what happened. The projects like the Witcher TV show require an absurd amount of collaboration and coordinations between the various departments. And I can guarantee that everyone wants to do the best job possible. However, if the overarching vision run by showrunners, directors, producers, or the movie studio sucks, the artists can only do so much. So we can still appreciate the individual people working on the shows, as we criticize and are disappointed in the overall direction.